Good morning, dear students. In our last lecture, we have studied regarding the experimental measurement of critical constants of a gas. In today's lecture, we will continue with the new topic Andrews isotherms of carbon dioxide gas. In 1861, a scientist named Andrew was the first to study the effect of temperature and pressure on the volume of carbon dioxide gas. Now what he did, he kept the temperature constant and measured the volume of carbon dioxide gas at different pressures. By doing this, he got the plots of volume against pressure at constant temperature. Such a plot of pressure versus volume at constant temperature is known as an isotherm. As the temperature is constant, we will call it as an isotherm. So a number of measurements were done at different temperatures so that a number of isotherms were obtained. So various PV isotherms of carbon dioxide gas which were experimentally obtained by Andrew at different temperature are shown in the figure. In next slide, we will study it in detail what observation he did from these plots. So first of all, from this figure, what we are observing here, we are plotting here pressure against volume at different temperatures for the gas. So that we are getting different isotherms here like A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H and so on. So what we are having in this plot or in this figure, on the left hand side of the figure, we are having CO2 in the liquid state. And on the right hand side of the figure, we are having CO2 in the gaseous state. Whereas in the portion below this parabolic curve, we are having CO2 in both the vapor and liquid form in equilibrium with each other. Means both the phases are present here together. Now we will study these curves in details. First one is the isotherm at 13.1 degrees Celsius. So in this isotherm there are different portions. First one is the curve AB. At point A, we can easily see in this figure, at point A, the CO2 is existing in the gaseous form. So as we are increasing the pressure from A to B, we are moving, and as we are increasing the pressure, the volume is decreasing along the curve AB. Now what does it shows? This curve AB represents the compression of CO2 gas. As we are increasing the pressure on the gas, its volume is decreased. Now reaching point B, what happens? At point B, the gas starts liquefying. The liquefaction starts and the volume decreases suddenly. There is a sudden decrease in the volume whereas pressure is constant here. So what is happening along this horizontal portion BC? Along BC, gaseous CO2 converts into the liquid form and volume decreases rapidly. The reason being, liquid has much less volume than the gas. As we are moving from B to C, more and more gas is converting into the liquid form, so that there is a large decrease in the volume. Now, during transition from B to C, what is happening? We are having both the liquid and vapor phase in equilibrium, so that total pressure is remaining same. As we move from B to C, the liquid phase amount increases whereas amount of gaseous phase decreases till On reaching point C, whole of the gas is converted into the liquid form. Now, after point C, what's happening? After point C, as the gas has been converted completely into the liquid form, on further increasing pressure, there will be decrease in volume, very small. The reason being, liquid are much less compressible as compared to the gas. Tendency of compressibility of liquids is very low. That's why decrease in volume is very small for increase in pressure. So what we can say in the curve ABCD, CD, along AB we are having only gaseous CO2. Along BC there is liquid carbon dioxide in equilibrium with the vapors, whereas along CD we are having only liquid form of CO2. Now moving on to the next curve EFGH at 25 degrees Celsius. So what we can see from this figure, as we are increasing the temperature from 13.1 to 21.5 degrees Celsius, the horizontal portion changes from BC to FG here. This is smaller as compared to the BC. So horizontal portion is decreasing with increase in the temperature. Now as we increasing the temperature further and further, what we observe, this horizontal portion decreases, and on reaching at temperature 31.1 degrees Celsius, it reduces to a single point L. So moving on to the isotherm at 13.1 degrees Celsius, 31.1 degrees Celsius, in this isotherm, the horizontal portion becomes 0 as it has been moved to a single point L. So in this curve, the KL portion represents the PV curve of the gaseous CO2. And after point L, it has been completely converted into the liquid form. So there is transition from gaseous to the liquid state at point L. At point L, liquid CO2 starts to appear. So beyond L, the isotherms become nearly parallel to the vertical axis. Again, the reason is the same, as liquids are very less compressible. That's why with increase in pressure, the decrease in volume is very small. Now what about isotherms above 31.1 degrees Celsius? As we will increase the temperature further, you will see there is no horizontal portion. It completely disappears and CO2 exists only in the gaseous form. So what does it suggest? There is no liquefaction takes place above this temperature, howsoever high pressure you are applying on the gas. So this temperature is the critical temperature of CO2 gas. Now corresponding to this temperature, the pressure obtained from the y-axis will be the critical pressure of CO2 gas, and that is found 72.9 atmosphere. Now, on the basis of these isotherms, a principle was given by Andrew that is known as principle of continuity of the state. Now, what we are observing from this figure, if the ends of the horizontal portions of the isotherms, they are joined together, we are getting a parabolic curve. And the peak of parabolic curve is representing the critical temperature. This is the critical point from which we are getting the critical constants of the gas. So within the parabola, the liquid and vapor are existing together in the equilibrium. And outside the parabola, substance is existing only as gas under the condition of right hand side, whereas only as liquid under the condition on LHS, left hand side. So what Andrew suggested, that below this critical temperature, it is possible to change a substance from gaseous state to the liquid state without getting any stage at which both the phases are present together. Means conversion of the substance from gaseous state to the liquid state below this critical temperature is possible without any sharp discontinuity. It may be continuous, and this is known as principle of continuity of the state. So how he was being able to convert the gaseous state to the liquid state without getting any stage at which both these states are in equilibrium with each other, that we will explain here. Suppose the substance under consideration is the CO2, so that we can use the same curves here. Now at 13.1 degrees Celsius, if pressure and volume correspond to the point A, at this point A, the substance will be present in the gaseous form. Now keeping the volume constant, if the gaseous CO2 is heated, what will happen? Pressure of the gas will increase. So as we are heating it, so that the pressure has been reached to the point B, then path AB will be followed. As we have kept the volume constant, so if we will heat the gaseous CO2 keeping volume constant, the pressure will increase up to the point B, so that path AB is followed. Now keeping pressure constant, so that we are getting a horizontal line here. Keeping pressure constant, suppose the gaseous CO2 is cooled. So what will happen? Its volume will decrease. And we will see the volume is decreasing along the path BC. Now what happens at point C? We are having here CO2 in the liquid form. So what we can say here, nowhere along the path ABC there is no stage at which both these phases are present together. All along the path ABC, the substance is present only in one phase. Either it is gaseous phase or it is liquid phase on reaching point C. That is, the change of state from the gaseous to the liquid state is continuous. That's why it is referred as continuity of the state. So transition is taking place at point C. It is converting into the liquid form. Further cooling will simply changes the volume of the liquid from C to D. So this is all about the principle of continuity of state.